we're going to begin with a pose where we are lying down and working a little through the lateral side of the body. So working through the sides of our body. We're going to start lying down and we're taking a position that is called Bananasana. And it is quite simply called Bananasana because you will look like a banana when you take the pose. So we're going to start with bringing our body to the right side of the mat, and we just lie down to begin. So with the hips sitting on the right side of the mat, we're going to lift the upper body and lengthen the rib cage away from the hips and just lay the body down. We're going to step the legs over as much as is comfortable for you. Now remember, you have to let go in this position, and we can just bring the arms up overhead and find a position in which you can relax. And now if you had taken the eye pillow, you could actually place the eye pillow over the eyes. Otherwise, you can close the eyes. Now if you feel any tension in the shoulders in the position, it's okay to place the arms down, or you can put one arm up, one arm down, listening to your body always. You shouldn't feel any irritation in the joints. You should just feel a little bit of tension, and you can make whatever little adjustments you need in order to find a position in which you can relax and let go. Bring your awareness to your breath. Just noticing if it's deep or if it's shallow. And start the process of letting go, taking whatever position feels good for your body. Letting go of your head, letting go of your neck, and just allowing everything to melt down. I want you to bring your awareness to the right side of the body. So right now your hips are to one side, and you should feel a little bit of tension. And as you feel that tension on the right side of your body, I want you to try to bring your awareness to the tension and try to let it go. Imagine on the inhale that you can reach down into that area of tension, and on the exhale you can breathe the tension away. Softening as much as you can through the body. Bring your awareness all the way out to your feet and to the palms of your hands, relaxing all the points in between. Softening, allowing your hips to be heavy, so just surrendering the hips. It may feel like a little bit of a silly pose, but just allow yourself to surrender. And it may be that the position of your body is quite different to mine. Listen to your body. I listen. I have a little shoulder strain, so for me it's easier to put my arms down. And I just feel the tension in my body. And this is a practice that allows you to reach into your own body. Maybe your feet are falling in, maybe they're falling out, but just allow them to surrender. Allow the legs to just be. And we're keeping the position for a few more moments. Then you're going to start to take the first of 3 long, deep breaths. Inhaling completely to the base of your lungs and exhaling to surrender. And after your third exhale, gently bring some movement into your fingers and your toes. Gently bring your head back into a neutral position. If your arms are overhead, slowly bring them down. We move very slowly when we practice in this way. Placing the hands on the ground, gently moving the head over, bringing the legs back over, taking yourself back to the right side of the mat for a moment. And we're just going to lie here in stillness. And I want you to notice the difference in sensation between right side and left side. I want you to feel how it is to just stretch a single side of the body. And then we're going to blink open the eyes. We're going to bring the knees in. We're just going to take a little hug here. And roll over onto the left side. Bring yourself back up. And we're going to come to the left side of the mat. So again, we're going to align ourselves with the left side. Lying down and just taking a little moment here. And then we're going to keep the pelvis where it is, allow it to relax here. And we're going to lift the ribcage away from the hips and place it down at an angle. And then you can bring the arms up or bring them out, whatever feels comfortable, and just step the legs over. And again, same thing, until it's comfortable, and then let them go. They will move to wherever is comfortable for them. And then with the arms, either overhead, you can have them on your stomach, you can have them out to the side. Really what we're working here is the left side of the body. So allowing ourselves to relax into the tension on the left side. Closing the eyes and just letting the head fall wherever it wants to. Bringing your awareness into your joints. If you feel discomfort in your joints, make a little adjustment. Remember that your body is your responsibility. Practice with kindness, practice with compassion for each and every joint and muscle and bone. Notice the breath and start to feel the weight of the hips as you surrender. Allow the legs to be heavy and the arms. Working on letting go. And if you feel a lot of tension through the side of the body, take the breath all the way in. Imagine that you're reaching the tension with the air, creating space around the tension. Then exhaling to release the tension. Feel the connection to your body as you allow it to become softer. Bring the awareness to the top of the head, the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet. And allow softness to exist in between all of these spaces. Just allowing yourself to be very heavy. Letting go, feeling the weight of the body as it surrenders. And then starting to take the first of 3 long, deep breaths, breathing all the way into the base of the lungs and exhaling to empty completely. After your third exhalation, gently bringing the awareness and the movement back into the fingers and the toes, taking the head a little back to the center, and slowly we're moving, bringing the arms, if they're overhead, down along the side of the body, and gently bringing yourself back. So taking the legs and the body back to the left side of the mat. And then just taking a moment of rest and just noticing how everything has rebalanced now that you've stretched the opposite side. We're going to gently take the knees in towards the chest, and we're going to have a little squeeze here. And this time we roll onto the right side, gently pressing up with the hand and taking yourself around. So hopefully you feel a little freer now that you have released the sides of the body. The next position we're going to take is the butterfly pose. And for the butterfly pose, I'm actually going to use the bolster. So you can use some pillows here if you don't have a bolster available to you. And what we want for this position is to sit up nice and straight. Now, to start, we want to keep the pelvis in a neutral position. If it feels like you're collapsing in your low back and it's not possible to sit on the sitting bones with a neutral pelvis due to tightness in the hamstrings, then what we should do is place a little blanket underneath the backside. So I can show you just how we would do that. So taking a little blanket or a little towel or even a little cushion, you can, depending on how much of a tilt you have in the pelvis, you can adjust the blanket as needed. So the thing to do is make a little platform, a nice soft little platform onto which you can place your sitting bones and then allow the legs to come forward a little. And what you'll feel if you have a tucked pelvis when you sit, if you sit your sitting bones up, it allows you to bring the legs forward a little so that you neutralize the pelvis, because we want to do this in a position where we have a neutral pelvis. So we're going to bring the bolster, if you have one, bring it in close to the body. And if you just look at the legs, so butterfly pose involves bringing the legs and allowing them to fall out to the side. Now, you can do an active butterfly where the legs are really close and you have quite a short angle, but that's not what we want to do here. We want to take the legs a little bit further away like this. So if you have a bolster, they're almost at the end of the bolster. Now, when you sit in this position, you may feel a lot of tension on the insides of your legs, or depending on your hamstring flexibility, some people do feel this a little on the hamstring. Now, there is also the potential that you'll feel it all the way down into your legs, and you may feel it a little achy in the hamstrings if there is tightness there. I want you to find a position with the legs in which you can relax. And if you can't relax like this, it is possible to put either yoga blocks or little cushions either side so that you have a little bit of support, so you're not letting go completely. This can be quite a difficult pose to take. Now, we are going to allow ourselves to release the spine forward and allow the hands to relax. And this is where you're probably really going to feel the tension. The more forward you come, the more we are actually stretching on the hamstrings, and the more the legs are relaxing out to the side, the more you're going to feel a little bit of a stretch in your adductors. So what we want to do is try to find a position where we can just let go completely. Now for you, you may be up, sitting and just closing the eyes and allowing yourself to relax here. But where we want to feel it is in the legs. It is possible to allow the head to relax on a bolster if it's not okay for you to release forward. But for this position, I'm going to allow myself to release forward. I'm just going to surrender the weight of my upper body. And slowly, as you relax into this, I want you to feel the tension wherever it is, on the backs of the legs, on the insides of the legs. And I want you to relax your pelvic floor, relax the insides of your legs. If it feels a little bit too tense, then you're passing your edge. So just allow yourself to come up a little bit and find a position that allows you to let go. It's okay to surrender the spine here. You don't have to hold yourself in an upright position. So as you surrender the legs, as you surrender the body, allow the belly to hang, allow the head to hang, allow everything to be soft. And where you feel the tension, bring your breath. Imagine that with each breath you can reach down into the areas of your body that feel tight, and you can allow for a deeper surrender. Feeling the body give way as you allow yourself to let go, but making sure, practicing with
compassion, making sure that you don't move into a place of pain, but that you only work as far as the tension allows, with the softness we practice. Allow the back side of your body to be soft. Allow your shoulders to release. Make sure that you have no excess tension around the ankles. You should have a softness. You shouldn't have any pain around your joints. Surrendering. Releasing the body. Noticing how it feels on the back sides of your legs. And you to imagine softness, imagine space, imagine a letting go. Bring your awareness to your shoulders, a reflection of your hips, and allow the shoulders to be really soft. Allow the body to melt into the bolster. If you're sitting up, allow yourself to be soft and relaxed. Try to allow as much tension as possible to leave the body as you surrender into the tension that exists on the insides of the legs. And then bringing your awareness into your fingers and your toes, just create a little bit of movement. Bring the hands around and just take the first of 3 long, deep breaths. And exhaling completely. After the first exhalation, gently pressing into the hands and beginning the journey out of the pose. And this is a slow journey. We aren't in a hurry here. You're stretching your connective tissue in these positions, and your connective tissue expands and recoils very slowly. So we move slowly. And we're going to just bring the hands to the outsides of the legs and gently add a little bit of strength in the hands so as to release the legs from the ground rather than just yanking them with the muscles. Then we're going to move the bolster out of the way and just allow the legs to come out straight in front of us and do a little pitter-patter. So this is like a little counter pose. So we're taking a little bit of movement and getting a little bit of blood flowing in the legs. So when we stretch our connective tissue, what we're doing in effect is like squeezing out a sponge. Your connective tissue holds water. And when you squeeze out the sponge, you squeeze out all of the fluid. And as we relax into the tension, that is the equivalent of squeezing and releasing fluid from this system that has no pump. And as we begin to release that stretch and we move the legs in this way, we begin to take blood and fresh nutrients all the way back down through the limb, and that helps with the rejuvenation of our connective tissue. So the next position we're going to take is a legs up the wall pose. Now this is one that you can do against any wall. I would suggest that you place a little blanket underneath your backside. If it's a little difficult for you, you can also bring the backside up onto a bolster, but I think it's better just to use a blanket. It just should give enough of a comfortable support for you to lay onto. And you can use your little eye pillow that you created when you come into this pose. So for all of these positions where you're lying, it's possible to place the eye pillow over the eyes. But let's just start by taking the blanket and we're going to place it in front of the wall.
for this position, we're going to first bring our hips close to the wall, and then we're going to turn ourselves around and bring the legs up the wall. Now, when we bring the legs up the wall, we're going to open them out a little bit. So remember, we're looking to try and reach in a little bit to the muscles and the connective tissue on the inside of the leg. It is directly connected to the pelvic floor. So not just these little muscles that act as straps onto the outside, but also these long muscles here that are responsible for adduction, for closing the legs together. If they become tight, they can actually pull on the pelvic floor, creating a little bit more tension. So we want to, as much as possible, relax and release. So we're going to take the backside all the way up against the wall. So we're almost right touching the wall, and then we're going to just lay down and bring the body around. We're going to bring the legs up the wall, and then depending on your own flexibility, you can decide if you want to lay with the legs just a little apart or if you want to take them a little more apart. So play with this, whatever is comfortable. The closer you can get your backside to the wall, the easier it's going to be just to let go. And now as you move, I'm just going to move this. As you move, your legs may surrender all the way down. So depending on the flexibility, you can see when I let go of my legs, they're going to open quite a bit because my flexibility is quite extreme. So just find a position, whether the legs are up a little bit or whether they want to come down a little bit, and just allow them to be where you feel a little bit of tension, and then I want you to relax and let go. Now for me, this is where I feel the end of my tension. So now I'm feeling the stretch all the way through this part of my legs, and I just want to allow the arms to relax out. If you have your eye pillow, you can just place that over the eyes and allow things to become soft. So as you surrender into this position, just allow yourself to notice the tension on the insides of the legs and feel your pelvic floor. I want you to imagine softness through the pelvic floor, through the center of your body. I want you to bring your awareness into the deep core. I want you to feel all the way into the center of your pelvic bowl. This is where you hold your center of gravity. It's also where we hold a lot of our beliefs and opinions about ourselves. So it's a very deep, sensitive area. So bring compassion to that space as you relax and release. And then gently begin to feel that awareness moving out through the insides of the legs. Allowing the head to be heavy and allowing the legs to surrender. So as you relax, what you'll notice is that there is a very subtle movement. Gravity is taking your legs. Do not allow the legs to open to a place where you feel pain. Just allow yourself to relax a little into the tension that exists on the muscles on the insides of your thighs. And as you feel that area, just imagine softness, imagine lightness. Visualize space, the creation of space through these muscles. Keep letting go. Bring your awareness to your rib cage and allow it to be soft. And as you allow yourself to surrender into this position, notice where your mind goes. Notice the thoughts. And search for that space between the thoughts, that quiet space where you can find calm, security. Letting go of your tension. Letting go of any sensation of panic or
feelings of wanting to rush away from this tension. As you surrender, you find that space between the thoughts in which you can relax and be soft, in which the mind is quiet. Letting go. And then gently bringing some awareness back into the hands. I'm going to begin to take the first of 3 long, deep breaths. Breathing as though we can take the air all the way to the tips of the toes. And as you take the inhalation for the 3rd time, I want you to begin to release the breath. Begin to move the hands, gently bringing the hands onto the outsides of the legs, gently bringing a little energy into the toes, and very, very slowly take a little bend in the knees and take the weight of the legs in the hands, and gently allow the knees to come in towards the chest. And from here, we're just going to take a little squeeze. Now really let go of your legs here. Your legs are not doing anything. It is the arms gently compressing the knees into the chest. And from here we find a graceful way out. It can be a little difficult when you're pressed all the way up against the wall. We're going to roll over onto the side very slowly. We move slowly when we practice these releasing asanas. So we're going to come around, and just as a little rebound, we're going to take a wide-legged child's pose. So for this, you're going to bring your toes to touch. You're going to bring your backside down onto your heels. And if you don't reach your heels, you can place a little blanket underneath the legs, or you can even place a bolster in between the legs. So do what you need to, and just allow yourself to relax down, taking a little moment of softness, a little rebound pose. When we practice this style of yoga, this is a yin style of yoga, we practice with a softness, and we give the body the opportunity to rebound in between each asana. Gently blink the eyes open, bring the awareness back into the hands, place them under the shoulders, press into the hands, come back up to seating. So we're going to take our final pose here in this sequence with a spinal twist. And for this, again, we're going to use the bolster. So if you take the bolster, or some cushions, or a rolled up quilt can also work. So whatever you have, you can take that. And what we want to do is we want to start by placing the hips right beside the bolster. And in the legs, we're going to take a little pose called deer pose. And for this, we basically have around a 45-degree angle in the legs. So here we have 45, there we have 45. We're going to allow the legs to relax completely, and we're going to turn to face the bolster. Now what we're trying to do in this position is take a spinal twist. So what we want is for the stomach to rest onto the bolster. And in this position, if you look at my pelvis, I am actually twisting my pelvis also to get around here. So there is pulling on those little muscles that attach onto the pelvic floor, and there's also pulling along the adductors, the muscles on the insides of the legs, as well as many other muscles that are connecting through the pelvic floor. So we're stretching the connective tissue that is holding and encasing the pelvic floor, and this is a really good way to reach down and release tension. So what we want to do here
is to place the stomach onto the bolster. Now, in order to do this, you need to have a good range of motion through the spine. So through all of the different spinal vertebrae, we want them to rotate just a little. Now, if you can't get your stomach onto the bolster, with the bolster straight like this, you can bring it closer to your legs, and that makes it easier to reach down here. If you're very flexible, you can take it further away, and then you get a little bit more of a twist. You will also, if you're not very flexible, you'll take all of this movement from the hips. So do what feels comfortable for you. So I'm just going to take it with the deer pose legs, and I'm just going to bring myself to place the stomach here. Now, when you come down into the position, if you face away, if you face towards your legs, it's a gentler stretch. If you face away from your legs, that is a deeper stretch. So for the purpose of demonstration, I'm going to stay facing towards my legs. And we're going to relax here into the position. We're going to let the belly hang, let the legs be soft, let the shoulders be soft, and bring the awareness down into the body. I want you to feel your hips, and I want you to let them go. Feel the legs and let the legs be soft. And then start with the sensation around the tailbone and move gently through the spine, feeling the vertebra. As you move upwards, noticing where in the spine you feel the twist. And when you come to the twist, I want you to feel softness. Imagine letting go. Allowing the attention to move all the way up to the cervical spine. If you're facing away from your knees, you'll feel a twist here also. You feel the twist all the way through the spine. Letting the head be heavy, and just notice if you're gripping with your hands. If you're gripping with your hands, it's a sign that you're not letting go. You can turn the palms to face upwards if that makes it a little bit easier to not grip. Just try to allow yourself to take a position that lets you be soft, remembering that you must practice with awareness, practice with compassion. So making sure you don't feel tension in any of your joints. If you need to, you can straighten a leg. You can do whatever you need to allow yourself to find a comfortable position so that you can let go. Noticing your breath. Noticing how it feels through the spine as you inhale and exhale. Allowing the rib cage to be heavy, allowing the body to surrender. And then if your head is facing away from your knees, I want you on your next inhale to very gently and slowly lift the head and place it down so that it's facing towards the knees. And then we're going to bring our attention to the breath and begin to take the first of 3 long, deep breaths, breathing all the way through the twist in your spine. And after your last deep exhalation, bring some energy into your hands. Slowly bring the energy through the shoulders, bringing the hands back so that they're under the shoulders, and very gently pressing into the hands. Very slowly we come back up. Very mindfully we right the twist in the spine. We take ourselves to face away from the legs, away from the bolster. Bring the knees together. Just allow yourself to relax forward, releasing the head, letting the belly hang and just being soft. Notice how it feels in the body, having twisted just to one direction.
And this little counter just lets you release a little before we go for the opposite side. So coming back up, and slowly we come around. Now you can just twist around to take the position from the opposite side. For the purpose of this video, I'm just going to move the bolster so that I can stay facing the camera. So with the opposite hip now against the bolster, so the left in this case, and again with the legs in deer pose, or if that's not comfortable for you, you can put them out or you can bring the knees together to take your twist. So whatever is right for your body, this is your practice, so you feel your own body and you sense what is right. I'm just going to move this little thing to the opposite side. So what we're going to do now again is turn around to face the bolster, and remember that you can bring the bolster a little closer to your legs for a gentler twist, or you can go further away if you're very flexible in your spine. I'm just going to keep it centered. I'm going to turn around, and what I want again is to aim for the stomach to land on the bolster. And here it's quite a deep twist of the spine. You can place the head to face towards the legs for a gentler twist, or to face away from the legs for a deeper twist. For the purpose of this video, I will face towards my legs. So allowing the body to relax and be soft. Noticing how it feels in your spine. Letting the hips be soft, letting the belly hang. The legs, they just exist. You don't have to grip them. The hands and the fingers are just soft. If you notice that you're gripping with the hands, you can turn the palms to face up. This can take away a little bit the tendency to grab with the fingers. I want you to notice your shoulders. Your shoulders are a reflection of your hips. So try to let go of the shoulders. Sometimes it can be good to just bring the elbows a little further away from each other to allow you to surrender deeper. And then you bring your awareness to your tailbone. Slowly move the awareness up through the spine, noticing each vertebra as you move, and sending softness to each vertebra as you move. Coming all the way up to the top of your spine, and if you're facing away from your legs, then you'll notice also quite a deep twist in the cervical part of your spine. So just notice the tension and relax and send as much softness as possible to those tense areas. Try to be soft. You shouldn't feel pain in any of these poses. Remembering to meet yourself with compassion, to bring a softness to your practice. If your head is facing away from your knees, on your next inhale, you can gently lift your head and bring it to face towards your knees, placing it down onto the bolster. Surrendering again for a moment, just finding some softness. And then we're going to bring the awareness back to the breath. We're going to take the first of 3 long, deep breaths. Breathing as though you can breathe through the twist in your spine. After your third exhalation, bringing a little energy into your hands, gently bringing the energy up through the shoulders, bringing the hands underneath the shoulders and pressing into the hands, slowly coming back up again, slowly coming out of the twist. So still we are twisted, we bring ourselves back around. And just noticing how it feels in your spine. Take the legs in front and just allow yourself to hang over the legs. Let the belly be soft and hanging. Let the head
this counter position. In this position now we have balanced the body by twisting the opposite side. You should feel quite balanced. And then releasing the hands, slowly coming back up. We're going to take a little butt massage just as a little counter. Just come down onto the elbows. We're just going to bring the knees from one side to the other, reaching out with the knees to touch the floor. And as you do this, you're rolling over the glutes. And as you're doing this, you're moving also the pelvis, and this is moving the spine. And I want you to see just if you can bring a little bit of blood up through the back as you do this. Bringing a little heat through the body. And getting that nice little rub on the backside. Then coming back up to a comfortable seated position. So at this point of your practice, it can be nice to take a savasana, to lie down and to place the eye pillow and a blanket over the body, and just to allow everything to relax.